Welcome back to the SuperMotocross Insider post-race show. Joining us here on Peacock and the SuperMotocross Video Pass. I think Ken Roczen really summed it up nicely with his podium interview there. Yeah. The track got rougher as the night went on, and the battles got better, the intensity, and I think we're focusing on points and the money. It's getting closer. This is a really good send-off heading to LA. Yeah,
I like the headspace that Kenny's in, and I mean, you think about the emotions, you know, having his second child, him and his wife Courtney. It's just awesome, and just embracing everything. I love the smiles on his face, and you know, this is well deserved. He has ridden fantastic. That progressive Suzuki X-Star machine, he's got a great group around him. It seems like he believes in those guys as well.
And Jet Lawrence headed back to the Honda pit area. We thought there might have been a problem for Lawrence. No, he was just thinking about things.
Yeah, I think he outsmarted all of us on this.
We were not anticipating that.
No. We were not. We were not. There's no doubt about that. There's his manager, Lucas Myrtle. And it is going to be exciting next week at the LA Coliseum. And you know, when we were talking about the SuperMotocross World Championship and the point system and how it would work out, we're like, man, could you imagine if this would happen? And now we're in that scenario.
Yeah, it would have been great if Sexton won tonight as well. Certainly the local fans would have loved that, but that would have given him a pretty big points lead going in. The fact that Lawrence got the win tonight and Roczen ended up finishing up in second really tightens things up going into that finale. Lawrence gained 10 points tonight. Normally it would have been a 5-point gain, but we doubled the points here in Chicagoland. Give you the highlights of the Chicagoland round of the SuperMotocross World Championship. During the day, the track was beginning to take shape, but the intensity would definitely pick up as the lights came on and we got ready to go racing. Here is 250, moto number 1. Hunter Lawrence improved the starts massively compared to last week, but it's Hayden Deegan just going to edge him.
Yeah, those outside gates were working pretty well because guys were able to carry their speed around that sweeping left-hand first corner.
Lawrence up into second, battling with Deegan. They've been fighting it out all year. Justin Cooper and several other riders go down.
Yeah, Justin Cooper, number 32 there, tangling with rider DeFrancisco, number 75 on that Monster Energy Kawasaki. Hated to see that because Justin Cooper is plenty capable of running up front.
Deegan, a mistake in that left-hand corner, doesn't have the speed to jump the big finish line double, and that puts Lawrence to the lead.
Yeah, he leaned that bike over just a little too much, and as he did that, it kind of grabbed his left foot and almost pulled him off the back.
And then Joe Shimoda catching fire late. Here he makes the move on Tom Vial, and he's not done.
Yeah, what an incredible ride for Joe Shimoda, coming up through the pack, making some key passes that might pay dividends for this World Championship.
There he is around Deegan, and he still wasn't done. He began to close the gap on Hunter Lawrence. Last lap, though, watch this.
Yeah, the uppercut by the handlebar, Renthal handlebar of Joe Shimoda's machine.
To the chin, and that slowed him up, and that allowed Hunter Lawrence to put this one on ice. It was over as far as Moto 1 was concerned. We go to Moto number 2, another good start for Lawrence, but all the way from that outside gate again, this time Justin Cooper.
Yeah, fabulous start for Justin Cooper. He's had a rough start even last week, the SMX playoffs back in Charlotte, and then the first Moto, you saw him going down with rider DeFrancisco.
Shimoda gets inside here on the number 30 of Lawrence. That was a key pass. He was looking great early.
Well, the intensity level from Joe Shimoda was out of sight.
Here's Lawrence trying to come back on him, though.
Yeah, Hunter. I mean, you talk about a rebound for both of the Lawrence brothers, but great job by Hunter for sure.
So here is Shimoda catching Cooper and just able to get inside and gain the lead.
And I love the lines that Joe Shimoda was taking, made a lot of moves on the outside where everyone seemed like they were married to the inside lines. Joe was making the outsides work.
Here comes Hunter Lawrence. He's trying to follow Shimoda through and win today overall. Key pass on Cooper.
Yep, right out the inside, and you know what happened as this track started to get rougher and the ruts got deeper, those outsides became a bit better, more desirable.
Cooper tried to come back on Lawrence here. I thought he was going to get it, but that outside was a little quicker for Lawrence to hold on.
Yeah, that jump face started to get really ruddy, so guys were taking caution through there, which that was the right thing to do. It could reach up and bite you.
And then something goes wrong with Shimoda's machine. He started looking down, and then he essentially gave the lead to Lawrence.
Yeah, he said something wasn't feeling right, and he just wanted to play big picture and get this thing to the end, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah, but it cost him the race win, which pays 50 grand. $25,000 for second. So loses some money, but survives to bring the championship fight down to next week in Los Angeles as Hunter Lawrence answers back after 8th last week with a 1-1 sweep of the motos for first overall here at Chicagoland Speedway. And like he has done all year, a very businesslike performance, methodically working his way past his competitors. And you see Deegan will end up in third, and all three of them will have a shot at the championship. Here's the overall for tonight. Shimoda second, Deegan third, as mentioned. Deegan with the 3-3. Hampshire rebound after a rough. Charlotte is fourth. Volan, Smith, Hamaker, Kitchen, DeFrancisco, and Swole round out the top 10 overall. That's the overall. We mentioned the championship on the line, and here's why. The 3-point gap between Lawrence and Shimoda might as well be nil. Whoever finishes in front of the other is essentially going to pull ahead of the other rider, and don't count out Deegan.
Hey, the rookie sensation, he has had an incredible, just a fantastic season. And he said it on the podium, he's going to go full Deegs. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
That could be anything, whatever that could be. Kitchen is fourth in points, but it looks like it will come down to Lawrence, Shimoda, and Deegan, although there are technically 75 points to play for. That's Doc G, or Dr. H. Ray Gubernick, who's the chiropractor, helping the Lawrence brothers cool down and get stretched out.
Talking to Johnny O'Mara, who's one of the masterminds behind the Lawrence brothers. Just a great mentor. And
yep.
Key to a lot of these guys' success.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you worked with him, didn't you?
Many
Doc G?
years.
Yeah, there's a lot of aches and pains.
Yep, absolutely. Doc G is a staple within the SMX community. Just a great guy.
So the Lawrence brothers are going to need all the help they can get, because Joe Shimoda, Chase Sexton, Ken Roxon, Hayden Deegan, we've essentially got 6 riders in contention if they win to win these 2 championships. Dream scenario for us to watch this.
Oh, 100%, and for our fans. I mean, like I said, when the SMX World Championship came to fruition, I was like, man, could you imagine if it went down the way that we were hoping for, and it has. Now we got a winner-take-all with 3 guys in the 450 class, 3 guys in the 250 class, and, you know, we always talk about executing and all that fun stuff, and next weekend, you have to. It's win or go home, for the most part, for the SMX inaugural SMX World Championship.
And if that doesn't make it historic enough, we have not announced where we're going to race these races next year. I don't know if we're going back to the Coliseum. This could be your once-in-a-lifetime chance to see a Supercross type race there, and with these titles on the line, you want to be there in person. We also had the last week the 65 World All-Stars. Tonight we had the Super Mini World All-Stars. Riders age 12 to 16 racing Super Mini machines, 112 cc. Let's give you the highlights there.
Leveled up.
Carson Wood.
Making it happen from Zephyr Hills, Florida on that number 260. Monster Energy Team Green Super Mini.
Yep, he's out front early. And the battle's back here. You had Darren Pine up front on the 58. Vincent Way in the 27 got the second. He went down.
Brutal crash, and these little guys just come up short. What I think Vincent did there is he maybe scrubbed speed, and as he did that, he just lost the forward drive, comes up short, and when you come up short on these big jumps on little bikes, they don't, and the smaller wheels, you don't have the forgiveness like you do with the 250 and the 450.
Carson Wood does his riding at the Moto Sandbox, same place where Chase Sexton and Ken Roxon ride, and he does like them. He wins races. Shout out to Ryan Sipes, longtime veteran in the sport, does some coaching and training with Wood, and he has got himself a win, and of course the big hug from Dad. That's a lot of work to be able to be this good on this big stage. Max Shane would end up second. There was a lot of drama back there.
Oh yeah.
A lot of riders going down. Good job by Shane. Moya would be third. Seth Dennis and Logan Mortberg round out the top 5. The Super Mini World All-Stars. We'll have the 250F All-Star Amateurs racing at Los Angeles. The riders who are on the verge of turning pro, they're going to put on a show next weekend. Another announcement here at Chicagoland Speedway. We have finally found out who will be on Team USA for the Motocross of Nations, which takes place in early October in France. It's RJ Hampshire. Christian Craig will return from injury to compete there. And of course, Aaron Plessinger is kind of Captain America these days on the team. So there's the listing. We'll see how these boys do. It's very difficult to field a team this year. It starts with Chase Sexton switching teams, and Eli Tomac is out with injury.
Right.
Justin Cooper.
Getting married.
Justin Cooper had scheduled a wedding around the Nations, and then the date changed right onto when his wedding was already planned. So he's out. So the 3 riders that rode for the team that won last year are out. These 3 are going to step up. Give you the 450 highlights from SMX Race 2 at Chicagoland. And they're all Chase Sexton fans here when you come to his home state of Illinois. Of course, wearing the Chicago Bulls style gear. Sexton had the win at our last race at Charlotte, trying to carry that momentum forward. And early, I thought he was going to. Battling with his championship rival, Jet Lawrence, early on, and in the very first lap, I thought Sexton had the speed, along with Justin Barcia, to challenge Jet.
Yeah, Jet snuck up the inside. Just a great start, and this was a good little battle for a few turns right there with Sexton and Barcia, number 51. Barcia absolutely sending it. These guys fighting for that position. Track position is so key on a style of track like here tonight in Chicagoland.
Here is Sexton making the move, not only on Barcia, but we thought he might be able to watch, he gets to the inside. I thought the pass was coming on Lawrence right there.
I did too, and the reason that I believed is because of the intensity. I mean, he pulled right up to the rear tire of Jet Lawrence.
Here's Ken Roxon going to work on Barcia. This is for 3rd. Roxon riding very well.
Yeah, Roxon rode great all night long, just looked comfortable on the motorcycle. But Ken is good at riding at this level, especially early on. He's very, very crafty on the motorcycle, can make great passes early on.
The expected challenge to Lawrence from Sexton did not materialize. Lawrence just simply marched away, built up a big gap, and took his first ever moto win in SMX. It took a whole week for him to finally get one of these.
Yeah, really picture-perfect ride for Jet Lawrence.
So we go to moto number 2. We actually had a restart, the gate malfunction, and we went again. And it was Phil Nicoletti, the privateer on the Yamaha, to the lead.
How about that? Filthy Phil out there dicing it up with these guys. He's been in the game for a long time, but what we wanted, all the main beat players running up front. Jet Lawrence going to get by Phil relatively quick, and he'll build a gap. And I'm like, uh-oh, this is going to be dangerous for the rest of the crew. You don't want to spot a guy like Jet Lawrence any more track position than you want to.
Justin Barcia goes down and then gets up just in time to run into his old buddy, Jason Anderson. One of many run-ins between those two through the years. Ken Roxon gets around Nicoletti and makes a huge run at Lawrence.
Yeah, well, this was weird. So check this out. Jet's going to slow up. Look, Wade Kenny on by. Rarely do you see this at this level. I certainly wasn't expecting this.
Now, it doesn't affect the overall, and as Jet Lawrence said, that was big brain thinking. He didn't need to win the moto. He was going to beat Roxon with a 2-1 to Roxon's 1-3. So there is Roxon winning the overall and silencing the doubters, I guess. Is that the move there?
And it leapfrogged.
Well, we thought so. That was Jet's plan, that it was going to leapfrog Roxon to 2nd overall, but honestly, Roxon would have finished 2nd overall anyway.
There you go.
So it didn't matter. But the good news for Roxon is he gets a moto win 4 days after having a new baby boy. So congrats to the Roxon family. Sexton simply said, I didn't have it tonight. I didn't have the speed. 2-3. He ends up 3rd overall behind Lawrence and Roxon. Plessinger rode very well, just didn't have starts. He's getting close to Sexton at the end of the 2nd moto. He's 4th. Ferrandis, Barcia, Webb, Nicoletti, Anderson, Nichols. Top 10. Anderson had an early crash in Moto 1. That held him back. There are the championship points. And with triple points on the line, the difference between a 1st and a 2nd next week, 9 points. The difference between a 1st and a 3rd is 15. So Roxon, Lawrence, Sexton, depending on the order of those 3, any one of them could be our $1 million champ.
I mean, they could, and that's what's been so exciting. Not even for the 450, but the 250. But talking about the 450, I mean, it's game time. The guy who makes the least amount of mistakes and gets the best starts is going to be the SMX World Champion.
No pressure, guys. No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure.
Rider that's going to be feeling pressure in a few weeks, Motocross the Nations, is Aaron Plessinger. But I'm sure he had fun tonight. He always does. Let's send it down to Will.
That's right. Look who else I have here, guys, as well. I've got Roger DaCosta with me here as well. I mean, so much to be proud of here, Roger. You know, obviously, we've just announced the MX of Nations team there. Aaron's going to be the captain, be heading it up. And when you see him out there riding today like he did, he's in a fantastic situation with SMX. I mean, try and sum up how proud you are of what's happening right now and what's coming later here in about a month.
Yeah, I think the selection of the nation was a big motivation, I think, for Aaron from what I saw in his riding today. You know, he had the fastest lap time in the first race, although he didn't have the best starts. And again, the second race, he came from behind and, you know, was catching Chase at the end and finished really close. So we're really happy.
So what does it tell you, Roger, about what's coming up here? What does it tell you about where Aaron is with his riding? The fact that this is going to sort of go so late into the season, right up to when they go to Paris.
Yeah, you know, we of course we always believed in Aaron that the potential was there, and he has struggled a little bit in these past 2 years. But what I'm seeing now, what we are seeing, things are coming together, and the settings with the bike match him now, and everything is possible at this point, and it's really helps, because it was difficult to make the selection and for the nation and all that, and it looked like we did the right thing, and I'm looking forward to go to France and surprise some people.
I think you guys will. Aaron, you can hear Roger's words there. Obviously, it means a lot to you to know what he thinks about the decision to send you over there, and obviously how you're riding right now. You and I were talking earlier, and what a lead in this is for you, you know, just to keep that momentum going there. So how much does it mean to be doing what you're doing right now and leading up to it?
Yeah, I mean, even though I would have loved a better start and I would have loved a better finish, but like Roger said, I had the fastest lap time in the first moto, and then I came from behind in the second moto again. So as much as I wanted to get on the podium and be up there, I got to take the positives away from it. And, you know, being that it is so late in the season and I'm just now, you know, I guess peaking, that's a good sign. So we got another one of these in LA, and then we're going to go do business in France. So I'm ready to go turn some people's heads and prove some people wrong over there. And I feel good fitness-wise. The bike feels really, really good, and, you know, I'm ready to go.
We're excited. You got a strong team. Of course, you're one of three guys. Christian Craig joins you, and RJ Hampshire as well. And JT, I believe you're with him now.
Yes, I am with another proud member of Team USA, RJ Hampshire. A little bit better night tonight than Charlotte. I know that was not that hard to do. But, yeah, tell us a little bit about your night tonight, and obviously being the newest member of Team USA.
Yeah, man, just last weekend was a struggle. It was all around. I've never felt so lost on a dirt bike, and that was just the goal today, is show up and be healthy enough on Saturday to go out and perform. Went P1 in qualifying, which I believe is my first pole all season, really. Had good speed, but, man, it's tough out there. Like, dude, we're going the same speed and nowhere to really pass. Like, it was kind of just follow the leader. But, yeah, much better weekend, though. So we have a lot of positives to take away from it. And then, of course, yeah, Nations is a massive goal of mine. I was picked in 21, and then we ended up not being able to go because of COVID. So, yeah, just trying to put that in the back of my mind these last two races. Like, look, you know, we have something that I'm really looking forward to. But, man, I'm looking forward to LA, too. Like, I feel like I have a good Supercross setting. I raced today on a Supercross setting. LA will be more Supercross style. So just expect better from me. I mean, I do it for myself, and then, yeah, Nations, can't wait.
So you mentioned that we're kind of back and forth on suspension, and at Charlotte you actually went a little bit softer trying to the outdoor thing, and you just went back to Supercross of what you knew. So just walk through that process, because that's the opposite of what a lot of the guys did this week, and I know the Monster Yamaha Star guys, they went the other way. So just walk us through your thoughts through that process and how it played out for you, and then how that's going to work to your advantage for LA.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know what to expect coming into these races, and that was the thing, is like I showed up at Charlotte on full Supercross stuff, and it was good in the rhythm and nowhere else. So we tried to make internal changes and just got lost. Like, man, my bike was not balanced at all, and you could tell, like, I couldn't even ride my bike over the weekend. So that's just what I didn't want leading into here, is like, look, whatever I show up with is what I'm going to deal with, whether it's good or bad. At least I know what it's going to do. Went back to my full Supercross setting with clamps, everything. Softened it, lowered the sag, and I was like, look, this is it. I mean, I took it easy yesterday to try to save my body, because, man, it's tough on you out here on Supercross suspension. Like, dude, my back's shot now. So, yeah, just, I mean, overall, like, if you, for myself at least, like, I'm comfortable on settings that I know what it's going to do, whether it's good or bad. So, kind of we have to learn sometimes the hard way, and I've done it too many times now, so now it's just like, look, we're sticking with what I know.
Well, predictability can be the best answer sometimes, so we'll send it back to the booth. Thanks, RJ.
Thanks, JT. We'll show you how you can watch that race at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum 51 years after the first ever Supercross race took place in that historic building. Race day live starts at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Peacock. Our pre-race show at 9:30 Eastern on Peacock and the SuperMotocross Video Pass. And you can watch on Peacock or on USA Network live at 10 o'clock Eastern next Saturday night. And we will have an encore presentation on Sunday on NBC. There is the first place trophy in the 450 class tonight, which is the property of Jet Lawrence. And when we talk about going to the Coliseum, and we talk about how historic, another historic moment, it's your first Supercross ever took place there.
It was 1997. A lot of things weird or things happened that
historic
night.
Things happened.
Yeah, historic things happened.
You did not win.
It was my first professional Supercross. No, I wasn't even close. Not even close. And it was like a warm-up race with how the AMA rules stacked up. I was riding the opposite coast, but you were allowed to run a couple races to kind of prepare, which was a great kind of feeder and learning opportunity. But Brian Deegan, right?
Yes, Brian Deegan won his only Supercross race, and the thing that made that historic was that he ghost rode. He threw his bike over the finish line. And people have been asking Hayden, hey, when you win your first Supercross, and I think we all know someday that's going to happen, will you do it? And he said, yeah, I'm saving it for when I win a Supercross. So it's a Super Motocross next week. It's the same building. Yeah. He might never have a chance to race in that building again.
So one of the things that is special about the LA Coliseum, and you talked about it, that's where the first ever Supercross race was, and then that was my first Supercross race. It is the inaugural season of the SMX World Championship, so a lot of first times happening there at the LA Coliseum. And then you think about the Olympics going there, USC playing there. I mean, it's just awesome. It's an awesome facility, rich with sports history, and I can't wait to get there.
Yes, and we have not had a Supercross race there since 1998, so we're going about 25 years.
That's right.
That shows how long ago since you debuted.
I'm old, dude.
Years.
I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Not old, experienced.
You're young for someone in the booth. JT, JT said it's the reunion tour. He was at all these old races too, right, JT?
98 at the LA Coliseum. I was there that night, and the last time we raced there in the mud. And RC, that you're selling yourself short a little bit, because anybody who looks at that result on paper is not going to actually know what happened. From what I remember, you let everybody go in the start, and then you just took off from the back and just kind of saw where you could get, but you made sure that you didn't get into a position that was going to get you in trouble for that East Coast. So I don't want anybody to think that if they look at the results like, hey, Ricky Carmichael wasn't actually that good. No. This was a dedicated plan to make sure you were ready for that East Coast Championship.
Yeah, that was, man, yeah, I don't even remember what place I got. All I know, yeah, there was all kinds of funky things happening that night, but it was a great experience. And just like I said, to race at the LA Coliseum is special.
Yes, so that will be historic. Fans who really want to be there. We were there for a press conference in October. They've done a lot of renovations, and the stadium and the area right around it look pretty darn good. I think it's a lot different than if anyone went to those races in the late 1990s. Credit to USC for the upgrades to the facility. So we look forward to that. And by the way, we will have a re-air of that race next Sunday afternoon on NBC. I believe that's at 4 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday. So tell your friends, if they don't really know what this sport is all about, that's a great way to learn when we have the big network showing a $5.5 million payout final playoff world championship event. The Lawrence brothers strike back. Hunter sweeps it in the 250 division, and Jet wins the overall in the 450 class to keep the championship hopes alive, and Honda trying to win every single championship we're handing out this year. So much to play for as we go to Los Angeles, but so much to think about with the great action we saw at Chicagoland. Congrats to Jet and Hunter Lawrence. We'll see you next week.